My name is Liana M. Cortez, and I'm 28 years old. If you looked at my life on paper, you'd probably say I'm doing okay. I have a stable job in tech, decent benefits, a tiny apartment 3 blocks away from a community center that smells like old coffee and lemon cleaner. I'm not rich, but my rent clears, my fridge isn't empty, and until very recently, my family never had to wonder where their next payment was coming from. Because for the last 3 years, I've been the responsible one, the older sister, the reliable daughter, the human direct deposit. My little sister, Bella, is the opposite of me in every way people like to praise. She's the golden child, the one whose pictures get framed and posted, the one my parents like to brag about, the one who actually made them proud, as my uncle likes to say, loudly, when he thinks I'm not listening. And then there's Daniel, my boyfriend. He's the only person who has ever looked at how my family treats me and said, "This isn't normal." He has his own messy history with an ex-girlfriend who used his kindness like a credit card, so when he sees patterns, he doesn't ignore them. I did, for a long time. The day everything snapped was supposed to be a celebration. My baby shower. I rented the community hall 3 blocks from my apartment, the one with faded banners from 2014, still taped crookedly to the walls, and folding chairs that squeak like they're in pain every time you sit down. It wasn't glamorous, but it was what I could afford. I ordered cupcakes with "It's a boy" spelled out in royal blue icing, even though I had told my family I didn't want to do a big gender reveal thing. "Don't be boring," my mom said. "Do it right. Your sister can help with the theme." So I did it right. Bella designed the invitations herself, real invitations. Not a group text, not a half-hearted Facebook event. Thick, glossy cards with little gold stars and a baby in a top hat on the front. "Elegant whimsy," she called it, tilting her head and squinting at the proof on her laptop. "You're welcome." I paid for the printing. I paid for the stamps. I spent $94.38 mailing 97 invitations to people who, supposedly, loved me. RSVPs required. I told myself that for once, they would show up for me. Not for a bill, not for a favor, not for money, for my baby. On the day of the shower, I got to the hall early. The janitor gave me a sympathetic smile as he rolled out a cart of folding chairs. "Big party?" he asked. "Supposed to be," I said, trying to sound casual. I set up 48 chairs in neat rows, tied pastel balloons to the ends, laid out 14 gift bags on a long plastic-covered table, each one with a little handwritten note inside that said, "Thank you for being part of my son's life." I lined up 3 dozen egg salad sandwiches, even though the smell made my stomach flip. Brought in a tray of mini quiches. Arranged the cupcakes by letter so they spelled out "It's a boy" in perfect, sugary alignment. Then I waited. By 3 p.m., the only sound in the hall was the hum of the old vent and the occasional squeak of a chair when I shifted my weight. By 3:15 p.m., I checked my phone. No missed calls, no running late texts, no "save me a seat" messages. By 3:30 p.m., I had 48 untouched chairs, 14 untouched gift bags, 3 dozen egg salad sandwiches curling at the edges, and a single text from my cousin Rachel. "So sorry, stuck in traffic. Hope it's beautiful." Rachel lives 6 blocks away. I stared at her message and felt something slowly cracking under my ribs. Then, against my better judgment, I opened Instagram. At 3:41 p.m., Rachel had posted a boomerang of champagne glasses clinking against a blazing orange sunset. The location tag was a downtown rooftop I recognized immediately. In the center of the frame, wearing pink heels and a glitter dress, stood Bella. She was laughing, head thrown back, hands up in a peace sign next to a balloon arch that read, in bright neon letters, "Finally 21." My baby shower was 3 blocks from my apartment. Her 21st birthday party was 20 minutes across town, up an elevator and into the sky. I refreshed the feed. More clips, more angles. People I'd fed, housed, covered, took selfies in front of a custom neon sign I'd paid for months ago when Mom said, "We want her 21st to be special. Your sister's been through a lot." At 3:47 p.m., my mom sent me a message with a link. "So you don't miss her big moment," she wrote. As if missing my moment was perfectly acceptable. The live stream opened to a shaky vertical video of Bella pretending to cry while someone sang a painfully slow acoustic version of "Happy Birthday." She was holding a cake shaped like a martini glass, glittering under string lights. I watched my uncle raise his drink. "To the golden child," he yelled over the music, "the one who actually made us proud." There it was, That word again, actually, as if there had been auditions and I had failed. I didn't throw my phone. I didn't scream. I didn't knock over a single squeaky chair. I just stood in a community hall decorated for a baby no one had bothered to show up for, under a deflating "Welcome Baby" banner, staring at my glowing screen while my family toasted the sister who actually made them proud. Then I did something they never expected. I opened my banking app. I scrolled to the family fund, the one I'd been sending $2,000 a month into, automatically, like a subscription service I was too tired to cancel. I froze the account. Next, I went to the co-signed lease for Bella's apartment, the one she lived in with her boyfriend, the one I'd never even visited in a city she openly hated. I pulled my name from it. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. I moved with the calm of someone who has finally accepted that the fire is real and the only thing left to do is stop pouring gasoline. By 6:03 p.m., my phone showed 53 missed calls. My mom, my dad, Rachel, Bella, even my cousin Steve, who once stole my charger and said it felt communal. The last text came from my mother. "You ruined her night." I stared at those 4 words for a long time. Then I typed back. "You streamed it to me," I wrote. "I participated." I set the phone down on the plastic-covered table and looked around at the empty chairs, the untouched cupcakes, the silent room that was supposed to be filled with people who loved me. "Okay," I whispered to my son, pressing a hand to my stomach. "If they won't show up for us, we'll show up for ourselves." Let's back up, I thought. Because if you're going to skip my baby shower to toast my sister's 21st like it's the Oscars, you should at least Venmo me for the chairs. You won't. You never do. So let me tell you exactly how we got here. Let's talk numbers. Because when emotions get dismissed, minimized, or live-streamed over, numbers are the only language some people understand. And for 3 straight years, numbers were the way my family measured my worth, my usefulness, my role. I wasn't the older daughter. I wasn't the responsible sister. I was the financial spinal cord holding up a household that pretended it didn't need me. The deposits started small. $200 for groceries, $180 for a utility bill, $315 for car insurance when Dad forgot the due date. But small things grow when you're the only one tending them. It didn't take long until the small help became a $2,000 monthly family fund. Nobody sat down and asked. Nobody said, "Hey, Liana, are you sure you can afford this?" It just happened, became expected, automatic, like a subscription. A subscription to dysfunction. "Liana, you're the responsible one. You don't have kids yet. You've got flexibility. Your sister's dealing with so much. It's just this month." Flexibility. Cute word for, we decided your wallet is our problem solver. Let's keep going. Down $200. That was Bella's rent every month for 14 months. 14. That's $16,800 toward an apartment I've never stepped foot inside in a city she hates, next to a boyfriend I couldn't stand, Kyle, the guy who once looked me up and down and asked if I worked in IT or just looked like it. He smirked like he was being clever. I wanted to dump my coffee on his lap. She stayed with him anyway. I paid for it anyway. $6,042. Tuition for Bella's spring semester. Just until her financial aid kicks in, Mom said. It never kicked in. Neither did gratitude. $890. For my dad's truck tires because there was an emergency. The emergency, he drove to a fishing trip in Arizona and accidentally left his wallet at home. $3,400. Roof repairs at my parents' house. I asked for a picture of the damage. Mom sent me a screenshot of the weather app. "It's raining," she wrote. That was the evidence. And then there was the Honda 2010, the car I practically resurrected from the dead and then handed to Bella when she said her mental health couldn't handle the bus anymore. No thank you. Just another request for Bluetooth speakers because she couldn't vibe in silence. If I sound bitter, I promise you, I wasn't. Not then. Not during the giving. Giving felt right, necessary, automatic. But here's what I never got, not even once. "Liana, are you okay? Liana, do you have enough left for yourself? How's the pregnancy going?" No, instead I got, "It's not like you're saving for a wedding. You're lucky you're not dealing with kids. My friend's daughter got $10,000 from her brother. You're honestly kind of frugal." Frugal. I covered Netflix, dental bills, impulse air fryers, and LED lights for Bella's apartment. But I'm frugal. And let's not skip the baby shower expenses. $217 on decorations. Banner, balloons, pacifier-shaped cookies. $94.38, printing 97 invitations. Again, 96 more than I ended up needing. And the only person who showed up? The caterer. He came in holding a tray of sliders and coleslaw, blinked at the empty chairs, and asked, "Is this a setup, like a prank show?" "No," I said, "just a normal family event." "Yikes," he said. He stayed with me for an hour, ate a sandwich, said, "You deserve better," then packed up his van and left. That stranger, with his sliders and his sympathy, showed me more humanity in that hour than my family had in the last 3 years. I stayed in that silent hall, bathed in fluorescent lighting and disappointment, listening to my phone buzz with rooftop selfies and celebratory reels from a party I unintentionally funded. So I did what I do best. I opened the receipts, all of them, folder by folder, bank statements, Zelle confirmations, screenshots of every just this once payment. Each transaction was a memory. Each dollar was a swallowed boundary. Each screenshot was a record of how deeply I had mistaken enabling for love. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't angry. I was methodical, because here's the truth my family never understood. When I paid their bills, they thought it made them smarter. They thought it meant they had support, that I was doing my part. But I wasn't buying their happiness. I wasn't buying their comfort. I was buying silence. I was buying peace. I was buying a seat at the table. A table they never gave me a chair at. The rooftop party proved it. So the day after the baby shower, I started phase 1 of the quiet revolution. I canceled the shared dental plan, the gym membership I'd been covering since 2022, the Canva Pro subscription Bella needed for work. Then I logged into her student loan portal. Guess who was listed as her financial cosigner? Me. Guess who clicked remove authorization? Also me. I thought that might be enough. It wasn't, because at 7:31 p.m. Bella texted me, "Just found out my rent didn't go through. Did something happen with your bank?" I replied, "Yeah, it woke up." At 8:14 p.m., Mom called. No hello, just, "Do you realize what you've done? She's devastated. Her birthday is ruined. People noticed you weren't there." I waited a moment, then said, "Tell them the truth." "What truth?" she demanded. "That I was hosting a baby shower," I said, "and nobody came." Silence. Then, "Don't make this about you." I smiled. "I didn't," I said. "You did." She hung up. I figured that was the end. It wasn't. 2 days later, the leasing office called. My name was still tied to Bella's apartment. She never signed the new paperwork. Not only had she missed last month's rent, she'd opened water, electricity, and Wi-Fi in my name, unpaid for 2 months. "Do you want to settle?" the office asked. "No," I said. "Do you want to send it to collections?" "Yes." 5 hours later, Bella texted, "Are you serious? You're destroying my credit." I replied, "I'm matching the energy." Cue the group chat ambush. "Mom, we need to talk." "Dad, you're being dramatic." "Aunt, she's just a kid." "Bella, this is financial abuse." Some cousin I forgot existed. Family doesn't give up on family. I left the group chat, 1 click, gone. But the week wasn't done. Of course it wasn't, because my family never stops when they're losing. They escalate. And their next move? A family intervention email. Subject line, "Let's start fresh." Google Meet link. Saturday, 11 Huntic a.m. I didn't join. At 11:02, I sent them a shared folder titled Financial Contributions 2021-24. No message, no explanation. Just every receipt, every bill, every do it for the family, every guilt trip, every moment they treated me like background noise in my own life. 2 hours later, Dad called. "Is this how you wanted to go out?" he asked. "No," I said. "I wanted a baby shower." Then I hung up. By the time Monday arrived, I thought maybe, just maybe, the shared folder had scared them enough to go quiet, to think, to reflect, to stop. But families like mine don't reflect. They regroup. And when they regroup, they retaliate. It started with a call from the leasing office. "Hi, Ms. Cortez. We're following up about the delinquent account tied to the apartment on Westmore Street. Since your sister didn't complete the updated paperwork, your name is still attached as the financial guarantor." My stomach dropped. "She missed last month's rent," the woman continued gently. "And the month before that. There's also an $85 late fee." She hesitated before adding, "And the utilities, water, electricity, internet, they're also in your name, both months unpaid." I closed my eyes. Of course Bella hadn't switched anything. Why would she? As long as my name sat on the accounts, she had no reason to be responsible. "Do you want to settle the balances today?" the woman asked. "No," I said. Do you want to send it to collections? There was a long pause. Then I said yes. She inhaled sharply, like she wasn't expecting that answer. But I was done expecting myself to fix problems I didn't create. 5 hours later, Bella's name lit up my phone. Are you serious? You're destroying my credit. I typed back. I'm matching the energy. Then I turned my phone to silent. Because whatever storm she was preparing, I'd already walked through worse. The group chat ambush. It didn't take long. The family group chat, yes, the same one where nobody replied to my baby shower invitation, exploded. Mom, we need to talk. Dad, this is too far. Aunt Linda, she's just a kid. Uncle Marco, you've always been intense. Random cousin I haven't seen since high school. Damn. Bella, this is financial abuse. Financial abuse. From the people who use me like a walking, breathing ATM. I didn't reply. I didn't explain myself. I simply clicked Leave Group. The silence that followed was delicious. Brief, but delicious. The family intervention. 2 days of icy silence later, they tried a new tactic. Professionalism. A mass email. Subject line. Let's start fresh. Saturday, 11:20 a.m. Google Meet link included. Because nothing says we love you like a mandatory Zoom call. I didn't join. At 11:02 a.m., I did something better. I sent them a different link, a shared folder titled Financial Dependence 2021-2024. Inside, they found receipts, bank statements, tuition payments, rent payments, utility bills, screenshots of every guilt trip, notes of every promise they broke, timestamps of every call they made, only to request money. I added nothing else. No explanation, no commentary, just the truth. Raw, documented, and undeniable. 2 hours later, my phone rang. Dad, is this how you wanted to go out? He asked, voice shaking with anger, or maybe helplessness. No, I said softly. I wanted a baby shower. Then I hung up. The forged signature. That afternoon, I opened my top drawer, the one labeled Emergency Only. Inside was a small envelope I'd been avoiding since last year. Bella's student ID, Bella's tuition invoice, and one sheet of paper, a financial guarantor form with my forged signature. When I first found it, I convinced myself she panicked, that she misunderstood, that she thought I'd say yes anyway. But after the baby shower, no. This wasn't panic. This wasn't misunderstanding. This was entitlement. So I logged into the university portal, clicked financial responsibility, clicked revoke authorization, clicked block card. Then I emailed the school 3 attachments. My government ID, the forged signature, 2 real signature samples, and the note, this signature is not mine. Within hours, the university flagged the account and removed me from every financial tie to Bella. They also informed her. I know this because at 6:22 p.m., Bella called me, screaming. What did you do? Now they flagged my account. They're asking questions. Why are you ruining my life? I fixed an error, I said simply. You're unbelievable. What am I supposed to do now? I thought about her rooftop party, the neon sign I paid for, the martini glass cake, the live stream link from Mom. You might have to move home, I said. She sucked in a breath. Are you serious? Deadly. The night I walked away. The next evening, my mom invited me to a no-drama dinner, which should have been my first red flag. When I walked into the restaurant, both my parents were already seated. They didn't even attempt small talk. Mom started soft. Liana Carino, can't we work this out? Families fight, but we come back together. Don't let bitterness ruin what we've built. What we built? What I built, I corrected gently. Bill by bill. Dad leaned forward. So this is it? You're just done? Yes, I said, I'm finished. Then I slid a stack of folders across the table. Inside each one, a resume template, job listings, a year's worth of financial invoices, a breakdown of each person's dependence on me. They stared at the folders like they were written in a foreign language. You're capable, I said. You've always been capable. I'm just no longer willing to be your safety net. Mom whispered, this is weakness. No, I said, this is freedom. And for the first time in years, I believe myself. The final break. Later that night, I sent a single text to the family group chat, the one I'd left, but could still message directly. You said you're better off without me. Now prove it. Then I blocked every number, every aunt, every cousin, my parents, Bella. Silence washed over my phone like a blessing. The last straw. Weeks passed. Then a package arrived. Inside, a baby onesie, a plush giraffe, a card from my mother. Let's start over. I kept the giraffe, threw away the card. But the real ending came 2 days later. A letter from a law firm addressed to me. My parents were suing me for emotional damages for withdrawing financial support. I almost laughed. Almost. Because they forgot one important detail. The attorney they hired used to be mine. The same attorney who helped me document every payment, every warning, every boundary I tried to set for 3 years. So I filed a counterclaim. Not for money, for the record. The truth was finally written somewhere my family couldn't twist it. And now when people ask about me, they don't say, she's the one who helps everyone. They say, she's the one who finally stopped.